Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Overwatch All-Star Trials presented by Star Esports. Today we have Capybara versus Blue Dream. Today, for your casters, it'll be me, poor Zach, and my friend Beanies. Beanies, go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's up, everybody? How we doing, humans of Earth? I'm Beanies. I'm gonna be talking in your ear today, and we're getting ready for some fun action in the Overwatch All-Star Trials, aren't we here?
Yeah, we definitely are. He'll be your play-by-play, I your color. And we actually get to have ourselves a little bit of an interview before the match. We have Apollo, the co-manager from Capybara. Go ahead, Apollo, introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, so yeah, I'm Apollo of the Capybaras. I help out on the managerial side of things, but I also play the hit scan DPS for the team.
And
yeah. Oh, my bad.
Okay.
You can go.
No, you're all good, man. It's all good. So what is kind of your main focus in the team as like that co-manager?
I pretty much if our manager Zepplis can't really be here if he has work or something, I'll just step up and maybe find the scrim or something like that. But he pretty much for the most part handles everything. He's also our head coach, so that helps out a lot too. So he knows the team from bottom to top, and he does a really good job of handling everything. But if he ever can't show up, then I'm there to just take over for a day or something.
Nice. So do you also kind of handle like the coaching side as well?
No, not at all.
No. Okay.
No.
So like normally you have your co-manager and your players a little bit separate. So how long have you kind of been like doing the co-manager thing, and have you ever like done this before?
Well, this is my first time actually, but I started the team back in April because the Capybaras have always been around. It actually used to be a GM team, but then it disbanded. So I asked the owner of the server, who's a good friend of mine, if I can make a team in Platinum, and it ended up working out. And right now I'm in about like mid-diamond, almost Masters. So I'd say it's been pretty successful so far.
Nice, man. Really on that climb. I'm sure you're enjoying the role queue.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I like the role queue.
Yeah, I've been having a fun time with it too. All right. That's all the questions for me. Beanies, you got any questions?
I guess so as a co-manager and also a player, I'm really wondering do you ever find yourself wanting to step in and do more than just as a co-manager? Is it something that do you ever want to go out and find the scrim for your team, or do you ever feel like you can find a scrim that might be better than the one you find? Do you ever find yourself doing that kind of thing?
Honestly, when Zepplis is here, I kind of just let him handle everything. But sometimes when I do need to step up, I'll do it pretty easily. I can find a scrim or something. We have a lot of people we scrim a lot, really often. So whenever we need to find a scrim, we could always hit them up. And yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
So does Zepplis have is this a hierarchy where Zepplis is kind of the final say? Because it sounds like a lot of these things that go on in your team surround Zepplis. So is he the final say, head honcho in this?
Nah, that's kind of me actually. Zepplis pretty much manages everything, and then because I created the team, so if I really want to veto something or override it, I can. But I trust him. He's got good judgment. But if I see something like a blaring issue that maybe I don't agree with, then we'll talk it out and then see what happens from there. But he's got pretty much a lot of the control. But I would say if I did have to come down and make a decision, I would have the final say, and he knows that too. So it's not even I'm throwing shade or something.
That's good. At least it's agreed upon. Good to know.
Yeah.
Interesting, dude.
We started the team as friends, so there's no friction there or anything.
All right. Well, sounds good, man. Thanks for coming in and having this interview with us. Good luck in your match.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, you guys are just going to want to keep the spectating slot on agriculture, I'm telling you, all right? That's a heads up.
All right. We'll keep an eye out, man. Thank you.
All right, thanks. All right, thanks, guys.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, man.
All right. I'm pretty excited to go into this first match here.
Yeah, now I want to know what agriculture is going to whip out. This is interesting.
Yeah. Agriculture is actually, I believe, their flex DPS, so we might be seeing a lot come out from them. It's going to be interesting to see what they want to run right now because of such a they don't have the 222 enforced yet. So do they still go the 222 just to keep practicing on that, and they think maybe there's something better that they could use, or do they stick back with the ghost that was so good before this 222 Warlock was enforced? It's going to be questionable to see.
It's interesting, yeah, because on one hand, on live servers, you can't really play goats anymore. So is that something you really want to be playing? Are you going to be as practiced on that? And looking at specifically agriculture's profile, this guy loves playing as Hanzo, putting in a lot of hours, a lot of successful hours on this hero. So it seems like, they might be favoring something, if not 2-2-2, at least a Hanzo-focused GOATS kind of lineup.
Yeah, and Hanzo recently has just been really, really good at shield break. He's able to get those good pickoffs. He can kind of fight you from that long, medium range. You get in a little close to him. You put some pressure on him. If he doesn't have that storm arrow, it could be tricky. That's really when the supports want to come in and help them out.
That's going to be exciting. Seeing a Hanzo. If you give a Hanzo a Mercy Pocket, you can break a Orisa shield in one Storm Arrow rotation, and it's so nice to see that happen. It's so satisfying just seeing a shield break like the second it drops. There's just something about it. It's like, that's how you know. That's when you got him on the ropes.
Yeah, and speaking about exciting things, we just broke 1,000.
Whoa.
Big numbers, not one, not two, not three, 4 digits, the 1,000.
That's ridiculous.
Pretty big.
Let's go, Star Esports. Let's go.
Let's go, dude. That's massive. So thank you to everybody. A special thanks to our subscribers, Kalisti, Sniper Dan, Boxin, Arkmana, Cubed Gamer, Happy Feet, Drunken Monk, and Bendro Rodrigo. Thank you guys so much. Thank you everybody for everyone who followed, everyone who subscribed, everyone who's just really just supporting this whole organization together. We all really appreciate it.
Thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
All right.
And
so first map today will be on Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, we're going to be loading up on Lijiang Tower first, followed by Horizon Lunar Colony, Junkertown after that, and then Numbani to finish up the 4-map set we have. But we're on Lijiang Tower. We're here on the Control Center. And so, Zach, I got to know, here on the Control Center, with GOATS being a possibility, do you think both these teams are just going to fall back to that in this very close quarters kind of map?
I'm not so sure. Maybe they'll run the GOATS that we now see in the Pro League with the Rollock 222, where instead it's kind of, well, I shouldn't call it a GOATS. It's kind of its own thing, but it has that same sustainability. Yeah. With the Reaper, the Mei, Orisa, Hog/Diva, and then your supports, which can be like a Moira. Lucio is usually pretty good. But on this map in particular, it's very tank heavy, so I wouldn't be surprised if they were to go something a little more on the Reinhardt side, maybe with the Zarya or something like that.
And so here we see the lineups coming out. We are going to get the 2-2-2. The new meta is being enforced here in the Star League as well. You don't want to miss out when we have the DPS getting a chance to flaunt their stuff. And we'll have Thick being able to whip out that McCree, maybe getting some headshots, some necessary sweet-sounding dinks on the heads of his opponents, which we'll be seeing very shortly as we load up here onto map number 1 of Lijiang Control Center. So
yeah. And I think they're going to have a hard time with that Ryan. I feel just like the Orisa is better usually, but with this new update, it might be changed.
It might be, and so the teams are going to be battling it out here. Both walls do go up, but we see Boop striking down Apollo with a fire strike. That is going to be very hard for a Reaper to get away from, and Boop, not done yet, decides to charge in and hit that left shift like we know Reinhardt's just love to do, for better or worse. But his teammate Thick will come up and take down G-Man in the fight as this long engagement continues, but with the points slowly going over to the favor of one side. Boop actually comes in, gets a charge down on the agriculture. That's going to be huge right there as Capybara is coming back onto the point. We see Bear holding down with the Orisa, using that Fortify, using his shield, using the halt to get his opponent into a suboptimal position. And Jayburn, with a questionable wall usage, gets himself into danger, and we see him pay for that with his life as Jayburn does in fact go down, with Boop following up afterwards. And while Thick may have used the high noon to take out one, that will not be enough, and Capybara, I think, are going to finally take this point for themselves in the first extremely long fight in this in this 4-map series.
Yeah, and right there, it was looking pretty good for Blue Dream for a second. They had their tanks up still, only a few DPS were on the side of Capybara, but they were able to actually sustain themselves long enough so that way their tanks could get back, and the fight still going back and forth was able to actually make it around, but a really good freeze coming out from Agriculture, and then able to just take off Boop.
Yeah, Boop just gets frozen. He gets hooked in. He gets shot in the head. That is not how you want to enjoy your night here at Lijiang Control Center. Vexter following up with a kill of his own, taking out Matt White, making sure that this stagger continues a little longer as Capybara is asserting their dominance here, getting some optimal control. And if everyone can just look at the top of their screens, we have almost 6 ultimates available for Capybara, but 2 ultimates are going to be used. That is actually Blizzard in sync with one another, both of them coming out. G-Man using that whole hog as we see a Coalescence come out from the side of Capybara, and the fight is going to go their way eventually after it's just an animation blast with everyone hitting Q here on Lijiang Control Center. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, agriculture there was definitely someone you wanted to keep your eye on. They've been getting a lot of freezes, and that blizzard, I think, was able to get 4 people in it. So then the rest of their team was just able to come in and start cleaning up.
And if we look at the top, I want to bring everyone's attention to the ultimates again. We still have 3 ultimates for Capybara, and one of them is used right now as Apollo uses that Death Blossom, but nobody's going to get killed by it because the agriculture walls off the entire team, and J-Berm actually stays a little too long. Ooh, man! G-Man with a beautiful hook there onto Glitch. Capybara has just taken control of this first point and not given it up at all.
Yeah, G-Man is really getting a lot of value out of these hooks here. Every time it just feels like he's able to pick somebody off. Right now they're trying to get him from the left side here. Maybe just a different angle is what they needed.
I don't know if they'll touch though.
Yeah, I don't think they're actually going to be able to touch. Bob was actually throwing a point though.
Bob coming in clutch. That's when he actually is going to do something. We see a beat is dropped to keep Capybara alive, and they're going to have to do their best to sustain themselves because this could be their last fight. Apollo and Agriculture, the first to the light up the kill feed, and while Bear is hooked in, he will be kept alive by DYL's Coalescence, and now it is just the remnants of Blue Dream left on the point. Not even the Blizzard can come out, and just like that, Capybara with a demanding and completely controlling first round here on Lijiang.
Yeah, I was very impressive by them too. At the start of that round, you kind of thought it was probably going more towards the side of Blue Dream. But Capybara was able to just keep themselves alive long enough on point. Everybody came back, and they were just able to just keep that ground so well. And every time that Blue Dream tried to push through and get their way over to the point, either someone was hooked, someone was walled off, or there was a huge freeze. Something was always going on from the side of Capybara to just keep Blue Dream from getting anywhere close towards the point.
And when we saw both teams had numerous ultimates available is when I started to bring it up. We saw Blue Dream actually blew more ultimates in that fight than Capybara did, and they got less value for it. So it's definitely something we have to look at is not only the individual plays themselves, but how are these players using their ultimates and if they're using them efficiently. But ultimates might not matter when you have a basic ability teleporter getting you to the point, and that's exactly the route that Blue Dream is going to follow. They get themselves this early point presence here, and now when the point unlocks in 8 seconds, they're going to have first dibs on this King of the Hill payload, but not for long.
Yeah, but right now, though, it looks like everyone's starting to push through a little bit. They have to keep it here. The bunker's what they wanted to set up here. That's why they have the sim. And right now, the hooks coming through again from G-Man and Bear, really timing that together well.
That was a really nice hook right there, pulling him right into the wall. That may have given him a slight little headache, aiding to his death, but the Coalescence is used, trying to force this bunker to just dismember itself from the inside out, and Bear and Agriculture are going to be the termites doing that. They take multiple members of Blue Dream out. Agriculture is, in fact, lighting up the kill feed, just like his teammate and co-manager said he would. And now, with Thick and Dr. Phil lending themselves to the edge, we're going to have to see if Capybara can do the same exact thing they did last round.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard challenge for Blue Dream to actually come in here, I feel like, because as soon as they get their ground, they're taking it, they're keeping it, you know what I mean? Like, when they were trying to go in on that point, it just kind of felt like Blue Dream just kept backing off just a little by little by little until finally Capybara saw how much space they had and really took advantage of it. So very good by them. But right now, this hook, the pull hooks just aren't really coming through from Blue Dream, and I think that's really what's making it hard for them.
We see Bob is thrown in there, asking him just to do something, anything. Beats are dropped in the same exact moment. It looks like they practiced that little musical tune they played for us or something, but Dr. Phil and J-Berm are actually going to be filling up the kill feed. Apollo, though, he's got a Death Blossom. Unfortunately, though, that is going to be cut short with a whole hog filling its place, and now the rest of Capybara are just being pushed back onto the point, but not in the way that they'd like to be. Bear trying to put himself into a corner, hiding, screaming, future, future, and he finally gets off the point, and we're going to see Blue Dream get the control back on this control point.
Yeah, G-Man's got to hurry up and get out of there right now. He's just unfortunately feeding, not much he can do there. But really good, actually, a good take back from Blue Dream. What happened was Agriculture actually used that May Blizzard to try to take out Boop, but there was so much pressure being put on him, he had to use his Ice Block in the middle of pretty much everybody. And then as soon as he got out, Thick was just able to take him out relatively fast. And then the picks just kept coming through, especially onto Apollo. Dr. Phil was able to pick him off while he was mid Death Blossom.
Oh, that you hate to see that reset interaction, but fortunately Boop is not actually thrown off. Thick taking out Vextra, slowing us down a bit. Only 33% of the point taken in favor of Blue Dream. And now Blue Dream they have themselves a nice little setup going. They have the 2 hit scans coming in with that McCree and the Ashe, both of them having their ultimates. But is this Orisa Supercharger going to be enough? We see a whole hog thrown down onto the point with Bob coming in as well. The kill feed is bouncing left and right. Both the teams are lining it up, but it's going to be going into the favor of our boys in blue. It's going to be Capybara taking the point, and they're going to be doing it slowly but efficiently. Jay Berm, towards the end of his life, losing it last out of his whole team, and with the points nearly secured at perfectly even percents. We're going to see if Capybara can control this and get themselves the first map victory.
Yeah, both bongos actually used in that fight, so probably not going to see them for the rest of the match, depending on how that goes. But a really good hook coming in on a thick there. I believe was there a pull as well in there? I'm not sure.
Yes, there was. It was a really nice halt hook combo. Well done to these guys, honestly.
Yeah, but right now, Blue Dream doesn't have many ults to work with. All they really have is that Coalescence. Meanwhile, the Blizzard and the Sound Barrier on the side of Capybara here, it's going to be really tough for them to push in. But that pretty good dynamite could get thick closer to that Bob, which would be really big.
Oh man, the Coalescence! G-Man hooks him out of the Coalescence. The Blizzard is thrown down onto Boop to secure that kill. And while there may be 4 members on the point from Blue Dream, they're just delaying the inevitable. Dr. Phil is trying his best to get everyone to listen to what he has to say, but that whole hog just gets shut up real quick. DYO with the Coalescence taking out Thick, and J-Berm is the only one left on the point until he sees his hamster buddy roll in, and Boop is trying his best to do his namesake true, but he will just fall to his opponents. Capybara are going to be doing this very slowly, very shortly, and very efficiently, taking Lijiang Tower and a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, very good by them. I think what really made it for him was that they took out that Moira so quickly. Like, they had no time to really do anything with that hook straight into the kill. It made it really hard. They didn't have much healing, so Blue Dream just had a hope that they could just get on point and try to secure more kills as fast as they could. But then the Blizzard comes out and it's just slowing everybody down, making it really difficult for them to actually even get to the point in the first place. People are split up. So that 1 kill onto that Moira was really big.
It's kind of ridiculous when you think about how much impact a single mistake can have in snowballing for the rest of your team. If that one mistake doesn't happen, if that one pick doesn't happen, maybe we see a fight go a little differently, in which case, you know, we see a round go a little differently. And maybe right now we're not going into map number 2, we're going into round number 3 on Lijiang Tower, you know? Overwatch, it's always just a game of meters. Even though we're in America, we gotta stay true to Overwatch's measurement system.
Yep, and thank you to Dragon Blades for the tier 1 sub. Dragon's Bane, rather. My apologies, I'm messing up your name. Thank you for the tier 1 sub. Much appreciated.
Ooh, good on you. Thank you, Dragon's Bane.
Now we're gonna be going into Horizon Lunar Colony, which, seeing how well Capybara was actually able to kind of hold ground, you know, you got to think maybe they're the favorite going into this one. Blue Dream might have a little bit more of a difficult time on the offense here.
They might, yeah. I mean, Capybara, we talked about how Agriculture is the player to watch, and it looked like he was popping off on that May for 2 rounds. But his Hanzo that we talked about to start the broadcast is yet to be seen. And that's something I'm really interested in seeing. Is this man actually going to live up to that hype? Because his May was good, but being good at May and being good at Hanzo are 2 totally different stories.
Absolutely. And right now, Capybara actually has a choice of map side, so they're going to decide to go on the defense, which is usually I prefer to go on the attack first, just so that way you kind of know your win condition. You can kind of build your defense around that. But to each their own. So Capybara may be feeling a little more confident going into the defense than they are into the offense. So maybe Blue Dream can have a pretty good defense depending on how Capybara feels about that.
Maybe we'll have to see. Maybe Capybara just has that big brain strat growing inside them that we can't even see. Like on the broadcast, we're just blind to what they're actually doing.
Yeah, you never know what's actually going on in the team comms.
Exactly.
Not sure. Maybe they want to go up on the top left. Maybe they want to hold point. But I think what's really going to be interesting is the offense, because normally defenses usually see similar things where it's just the Orisa Hog, Baptiste, DPS can be a little bit interchangeable, and then maybe a Mercy or an Ana as well in the support category. But on the offense is where you get to see a lot of difference, a lot of variety. Maybe you have or maybe they decide to go Symmetra like they kind of did on the second round of Lijiang, and they just go straight to point for Blue Dream and try to hold it from there, making it really hard for Capybara to actually take the point back, because now they're on the offense. So that'll be interesting to see if they want to go something like that.
maybe Boop pulls out the hamster and we see an interesting, Hammond just knocking that bunker right off the top. That's actually one of my personal favorites to see, because it always just comes up on them out of nowhere and they're just knocked off all of a sudden. The next thing you know, your whole defense falls apart.
Yeah, it can make it really hard. But normally you'll see like normally you want that one of your DPS to kind of have a stun ability or something to kind of negate that Hammond, just in case it does come out. But yeah, you can totally see Hammond just come blazing through on fire, just able to knock a bunch of people off the high ground, really split up the team, so that way it's a lot more easy to focus down specific targets because of how far out of position they are because of that.
Well, we'll have to see if that's actually something Capybara comes prepared for, because if you whip out something like the May, if we have Agriculture stick to that, maybe he brings that out. Maybe he is able to see the ball coming and wall it off, or maybe big brains it, walls off in front of them so they get smacked right into the wall. We'll have to see what they come out with. It's always interesting seeing the chess games that these teams go through when they're picking their heroes.
Yeah, and like we saw earlier that they did decide to go with the 2-2-2. I assume they're just going to keep going it relatively the whole game because no one really likes playing goats. And when you see the other team isn't playing goats, you kind of have that mutual respect of like, okay, I won't do it if you won't do it, sort of thing.
Yeah, because that's like you're that guy who did it first, and it's like the he said she said, like, you did it first, so I did it. And
yeah,
like, nobody's a winner now.
Yeah, no, nobody's a winner. Everyone had to play goats.
Exactly. Yikes.
Ooh. All right, coming in from the defense here, looks like, yeah, we're going to have the Risa Hog, Mercy, Bap. And then for the DPS, Agriculture on that Hanzo, something that they play a lot of, really excited to see.
Yeah, exactly. I'm excited to see if Agriculture is able to pull out something big right now. We talked him up a lot. We've said he was a player to watch in this team. Let's see if he lives up to the hype. Whereas on the other side, we got the boys and girls on Blue Dream. They're going to be bringing out something that you highlighted as a hero choice you would have liked to see them do.
Yeah, Symmetra here. It's going to be pretty good. Once they get onto this point, depending on how fast they're going to be able to rotate around on the side of Capybara, will really determine how this first point goes. It could go pretty well. It could go pretty bad. It could go mediocre. Who really knows? It's really a roll of the dice sort of feel when you go into certain compositions like this where you teleport straight to point.
Yep, we'll have to see. And starting it off on, I'd say a bad note. That'd be a nice way to judge it.
Not the best thing to happen.
Definitely towards the mediocre side of the scale you brought up earlier.
Yeah, it was really quick kill coming in from Agriculture. Everyone really focused down that one position. But they got to be careful here because since Boop used that shield right at the start, if they do decide to teleport over to point, they have to wait 9 seconds for a whole nother shield to come up. So I guess that's what they're going to try to do. The pull comes through, though. Actually gets the Sim out of position.
Yeah, J-Burn barely making it out alive. I actually spoke too soon. G-Man finishing up that kill on the J-Burn. Nicely done. And you can see how aggravating this spam must be coming from the Apollo Agriculture duo. You have the Hanzo raining down shots constantly. You have an Ashe with equally as quick spam fire, plus her dynamite flying in at all kinds of angles. It's really just, forcing Blue Dream up against the wall, and so far they're not really sure how to respond to it.
And J-Burn now switching over to the May to block them off so that maybe they can do a little bit more of a rotate around. They actually backed off because they saw the Reaper teleport, so now they're going to be going up those stairs relatively easily.
Ooh! That was a nice halt and hook combo, counteracted by Vexra's Immortality Field, but Glitch will finish off the kill on the G-Man thanks to Boot finishing off the lamp. But Agriculture picking up a 3K right there. A beautifully timed Dragon Strike, eliminating multiple members, but Thick wants the spotlight for himself, getting a 2K, taking out Agriculture, finishing off DYL, and Thick finally is dropped by Apollo. And while that may have seemed like a brief moment of bliss for Blue Dream, they are going to be sent back to their spawn and have to go again and try and finish out this first point cap.
What a crazy push that was there. That whole fight was just 2 DPS really just trying their hardest to go in there and get those kills. Thick was able to get that 3K, but not until after Agriculture himself got the 3K with the Dragon in a relatively good spot there too, making it really hard for them to back off.
Ooh, a nicely timed wall right there, actually denying the shot onto the hooked hog. Maybe it denied it, but regardless, very nicely done nonetheless. And we see A Coalescence comes out here early on in the fight, forcing some cooldowns. We see the window is in fact used. Dr. Phil, though, is going to crash through that window and take out Vexra. That's going to be a 5v6 into the favor of the offense as the whole hog and the beat are dropped at the same exact time, seeing 2 ultimates used. But another Dragon Strike is already coming out right now from Agriculture's Hanzo. Is he going to be able to do any kind of damage with it? Unfortunately not, though. Thick is coming into this fight blazing, drops the Death Blossom, picks up 2 kills with it, and Jayburn finishes up the kill as well, with Thick following in, taking out the stragglers, and this is Blue Dream coming to life.
Yeah, really good push there, really good capture. The Death Blossom was able to get a lot of value out of it. That's definitely one you see out of them. Sometimes it can be a little bit of death sentence, sometimes it can go a long ways, but they're just running right over here to point. They feel the momentum, they're really going to go for it here.
We see the Blizzard is used in tandem with Orisa Supercharger, but neither is going to have much value come from it until we see Glitch and Thick actually taking out multiple members. Apollo's Bob is one of those dropped, so you know, count it as you will. We all appreciate you though, Bob. Thick and Dr. Phil each getting their own kills, and now it looks like Blue Dream is just riding this momentum right now. They're on their own kind of level, and they're going to try their best to follow through and take point B, with Thick lighting up the kill feed again with a triple kill, and Blue Dream managed to push all the way through Horizon Lunar Colony. Wow.
Yeah, you want to talk about Thick? Talk about these Death Blossoms getting so many kills, getting so much value. Thick is just able to go in there and put in so much damage. And really with the help of his whole team kind of setting it up for him, whether it's the Mei, Jayburn, just slowing someone down so that way they're in a more effective range for Thick, or maybe someone gets hooked in and then you're just able to shoot them, or maybe they get pulled in. Just amazing work coming out through them. Making what looked like not too good of a push, getting the first point in a little under a minute, and just absolutely steamrolling to the next point and taking it super fast now with 3:17, a very respectable time, especially on Horizon.
It's always so interesting seeing these teams on their first push of the second point, because that always feels like the real, like, you know, backbreaker of a push. If you can hold off on defense for that first push, you have a good chance of sustaining yourself for a few pushes from there on. But that first push is so volatile. There's such a high chance of your opponent using the momentum from their first point cap, taking those ultimates they may have gained, and just snowballing through. And you saw Blue Dream do just that right there. And it was a pretty beautiful sight to watch.
Yeah, and Blue Dream also now deciding to go with a defense very similar to the one we just saw from Capybara, but instead of a Hanzo, they're going to replace that with a Mei. Pretty good, like I said, for the Hammonds coming through, or what happens here with the Symmetra Teleporter. Who knows? If he walls off the Teleporter, then there's going to be maybe 1 or 2 people on the point, and then the rest in the back, or vice versa, if they get the wall off right. It's going to be very interesting to see from Agriculture if they're actually going to be able to make it there, because everyone's a little spread out right now, so we'll see how it goes.
That sounds exactly like a congratulations, you played yourself. And that just happens to Vexra. The poor man gets cut off from his team, hooked in, and now we have a 5v6. But Capybara actually secures 1 tick on the point right now, and Agriculture is doing a lot of damage with the Symmetra. The Immortality Field is dropped, but we're going to see a lot of tanks just fighting it out. Doomfist counts as 1 too if you want. I mean, half the time he is tanky like 1. And I think after 1 fight, we're going to see Capybara take point A on Horizon Lunar Colony and try to one-up their opponents in total time.
Yeah, the first pick was actually on to Vexra, the Capybara's Baptiste, but they were able to still get on the point, and because the Sim was able to put down those sentry turrets there that she has, they had to turn around at some point and look at them because they were putting in damage. And the next thing you knew, Agriculture was high up on that beam, and then G-Man was out here just putting in a loaded damage bear, just keeps up that shield. Everyone's just hiding behind it, making it really hard for them to go up. And now coming into the next point, they aren't quite taking it as fast as Blue Dream kind of ran in. They're being a little more methodical with it, but if they take too much time, they're actually going to TP up to the high ground. Okay.
But they get booped off, unfortunately. We see the supports and Symmetra managing to stay up on top. This is an interesting fight to see happen, but Boop is going to control the fight on the other side of the field as Agriculture and Boop are trading out the kill feeds, but Thick and Dr. Phil are going to be the ones coming out on top as we see Blue Dream manages to keep themselves alive for this first defense, and looks like they're going to be holding down some high-quality ground footing here for them, with Dr. Phil and Boop getting very close to their ultimates.
Yeah, now going into the next fight, you got to think on the side of Capybara, okay, how many ultimates do we want to invest? Do we go all out with the Sim Wall, the Coalescence, we're pretty close to Whole Hog. But then on the side of Blue Dream, you know, you also don't want to overuse ultimates because you just used a few in that last fight. So if you use too many here, even though you may win the fight, your ult economy may be a little down the drain. So we're going to see how they're going to want to approach this one.
Yep, and we see the Symmetra ultimate is going to be used to open up the fight. Definitely is a useful tool to force your opponent to come to you, as G-Man does take out Thick. The first kill is going to be going into the favor of Capybara as they take out yet another. Apollo is lighting up the kill feed right now, showing off what a Widowmaker can do and taking that spotlight away from his teammate Agriculture. And with the ticks coming in, we see one tick is in fact taken, with the second coming up very shortly. All we need is a third. And while Boop is going to roll his way onto the point, is he going to be able to stall out long enough? Glitch is following up. White manages to fly on the point and just fly himself closer to his death. And just like that, with 4 minutes and 9 seconds to spare, we do see Capybara take Horizon Lunar Colony.
Yeah, that was going to be a super hard point to try to take back from the offense Capybara there, because you had not only the Widow up top, but also the Baptiste, Vexra, just using the amplification matrix. And not only is he able to rain in so much heals through that, but he's also raining a little bit of damage for himself. And I'm sure Apollo appreciated that too. Maybe walked over a bit and try to fire through shots through that and see what he could get out of that. But when we're talking about times here, yeah, that Capybara has a little bit more time, but it's not too different. This is still anybody's game time-wise.
Exactly. I mean, while it is a minute, if you think about it, a minute is maybe one fight. Because the time it takes to load in, get yourself to point, have that one fight happen, and respawn, that's probably going to be a minute. So that's just one more fight that Blue Dream would have to win. And in the grand scheme of things, if you can't win that one fight, then you don't deserve to win. So I'm excited to see what Blue Dream can pull out. But first things first, they have to show what they got on offense, and they have to try and match what they did last time, except do it a little bit quicker.
And one thing I really like here from Capybara is they're actually going the Pharah, knowing that last time the May Reaper worked for Blue Dream. They're like, okay, well, if it works for them, why not run it again? So they know that. They're going to go a Pharah Mercy, which is going to be super hard to deal with here. You're probably going to end up either seeing Maddie White try to do something on the Ana, or maybe you just hopefully get a good hook in from Dr. Phil from onto one of them. But right now they're just kind of slowly making their way over towards the point. Maddie White super low.
Speaking of good hooks, G-Man with a beautiful hook on the Maddie White manages to barely avoid death right there. Apollo, though, taking J-Berm to the cleaners, getting him sent back to spawn. Thick also gets dropped by Vexra right now, and this looks like it's going to be a fight going into the favor of Capybara, as just a few stragglers from Blue Dream are left on the point. And they just need to die, honestly, because if the longer they take, the longer it takes for them to get back, regroup, and push again.
That little honk you heard from me was actually Apollo able to get a hammer kill onto Dr. Phil. Hammer kill is not something we get to see very often. It's very nice to see.
Why you gotta do that to him, Apollo? What does man ever do to you?
Yeah.
He's got a family, you know?
He's got a family, dude. Like, come on. He's got Junkrat. He's got to take care of him. You know, there's no way Junkrat can be able to live by himself.
Exactly. There's no chance.
There's no chance. Oh, but the DPS now being switched over. J-Berm now on the Pharah and Thick on the Ashe, trying to answer the enemy team's Pharah. It's going to be a little bit hard to go in here still, though.
Battle in the sky, though. Interesting looking matchup. You don't see us too often on Horizon.
Yeah, it's because that skybox is relatively low because we're technically indoors on the moon right now. So if you really go past the skybox, you're going to have a hard time breathing. But J-Berm, good pick on a Vexra. That's going to start us off really good here in this fight.
Yep, we get to see Blue Dream's Pharah is getting the most out of their picks so far, but it might not be only them for so long, as Agriculture is literally flying in the middle of the point and not getting dropped at all thanks to that Mercy Pocket. Boop is dropped by Agriculture, but J-Berm asserts dominance in the sky, taking out Agriculture, and now J-Berm is going to have a field day as they take out DYL, and this might be just Agriculture's poor opponent coming in with a huge clutch. J-Berm, all they have to do is just finish out these last few kills, but G-Man and Bear are holding the point strong, and with Vexer in the back, it's going to be Blue Dream being forced back at the last moment. Oh, I really thought this was going to be Blue Dream's chance.
Yeah, that was Blue Dream's chance right there. There's no way they're actually going to be able to win this next fight. Every single ultimate is up on the side of Capybara, but almost every single ultimate is also on the side of Blue Dream. So actually going into this fight, maybe a little more even than you think, but going in, it's going to be really tough. It's going to be super tough for them to get in here because they can just spread these ults out.
It's just going to be smack your Q button and see if you do better than your opponent, honestly. G-Man looking to smack that shift button and get a hook. Unfortunately, it does not get that. Window is dropped right there. Amplification matrix is used. Trying to see if they can get any kills from that. Unfortunately, none were acquired, but this time is ticking down. We're down to 15 seconds, so we're really going to have to see Blue Dream get themselves into a position, and that is a beautiful start to the fight with both Hogs coming in clutch, but Agriculture is going to be using his entire Pharaoh Barrage and limiting the opponent's advance as Apollo lights him up too. And wow, before they even got a chance to get close to overtime, Blue Dream is stopped in their tracks, and Capybara have set themselves up to take a 2-0 lead in this 4-map series.
Yeah, that was really good. I'm watching G-Man there. He was actually playing next to the turret behind the wall, so I mean, no one could see him, but he noticed that the turret was locked onto someone in the air, so he went out and went for the hook, was actually able to get J-Berm, I believe, on the Pharah and take the pick off. Now he has whole hog. He's on the ground. He sees the Mercy fly back to try to get the res off, so he just uses whole hog and just absolutely goes in, just completely negating that Pharah Mercy combo that they were trying to run on the offense.
And honestly, with the amount of I guess the amount of power, the amount of time, the amount of energy you invest into that comp, into the Pharah Mercy, once that's dropped, your other 4 members are kind of just left there, while the other team is able to just have this, death from above character, just nonstop power, and it's so hard to deal with that when you're down your own Pharah Mercy. So real kudos to Capybara for a really strong defense. They look like a really good team, a really well-oiled machine right there. As you saw on the point when it was just Bear and G-Man holding it down, they were able to secure that point long enough for Vexra to come back and give them some support, which led to the whole team coming back and not even giving up a single tick.
Yeah, now going into the offense here, they're going to try to do the Sim TP yet again. Well, it worked out well for them before, so why not try it again? I imagine that they're going to be ready on the side of Blue Dream, though, playing right above the point, actually. Most likely expecting this to come through here, so they're going to decide to actually go up onto the high ground first. This might be a little harder for them.
An interesting choice. They still have Apollo on the ground, and he takes out Glitch. That may be the straw that breaks this poor old Camel's back. We see multiple members falling, but Thick is not going to be done yet. He will never say die. He takes out 2 members of Capybara, and with Apollo set up, just choosing his targets and mowing them down one by one, it's going to just be a matter of time before we see Blue Dream totally eliminated and Capybara securing themselves a Horizon Lunar Colony map win. But with Thick coming back to the point and Glitch in his back pocket, maybe he can do this. Maybe he has the power. Maybe he has the left clicks, but no. And just like that, we're going to see Capybara get themselves a 2-0 map score.
Yeah, and actually, kind of a weird way to start off the fight. They elected to go straight to the high ground, which wasn't a bad idea by no means. They saw that they weren't there, so like, okay, you're not going to want that high ground. That's fine. We'll take that right up. So that's exactly what they did. But what happened was the pull actually from Bear brought down, I believe it was Glitch on the Baptiste. And now your Baptiste is out of the fight. You don't have an immortality field on defense, which is pretty big. So Apollo's able to take that kill, and then they're just able to rain all those Bastion bullets from the safety of the first choke. Meanwhile, everyone else has to try to get onto the point. So it made it really difficult for them. But Thick kind of making the tide seem a little more even there, because he's just able to get off so many kills on this Reaper. Reaper really seems to be something that that he's comfortable with.
Yeah, Thick honestly is kind of blowing me out of the water. He's trying to put the team on his back as much as he can, and it seems like he just missed out on like one leg day is all he missed out on, because he's just barely not being able to put the team on his back and carry them. He's just missing it by an inch. Those Death Blossoms were ridiculous to get them on that first snowball when they got through point A and B. And, unfortunately for them, it just didn't fall the same way when they went back to the same strat for round 2. So we'll have to see if they can find themselves, a little bit of energy, a little bit of kick as we load up here on the Junkertown. And we say that, but Agriculture might have a field day on this map.
Yeah, this is definitely a map for that Hanzo and Apollo even too, because we saw them pop off on the Widow as well. So this could be a really good map for Capybara. Blue Dream is probably got to really be thinking up a really good strat here. So maybe they want to run like a bunker pirate ship onto the payload, and maybe the same thing for defense. Something to really try to negate these snipers. So maybe even they look to go with a dive-ish defense, depending on how they want to go with it. I think they're just gonna wait and see what the enemy's running before they actually fully commit to a certain comp. But I think those are probably the two options we're gonna see: is a really heavy bunker or a dive.
I think considering what we've seen Bear and G-Man run, we're going to be seeing some quality bunker gameplay coming out of Capybara. But Blue Dream, I'm hoping, with their backs against the wall, we might see some nice Gouda come out, some nice Swiss, some cheddar jack, a little bit of stinky cheese. I'll take any kind. Just let me see what you got, Blue Dream.
Yeah, we'll see what they have, because I don't know if they remember, but that 222 not enforced, so maybe they do like to go something that's a little bit cheesy that you can't really get away with pretty soon here. So maybe they're just kind of like, whatever, the game's close, we're almost out of it, we might as well just put all of our chips in, put all the chips in the middle of the table and say, whatever, let's do it, let's go for it.
I swear, if I see 3 tanks picked, I'm gonna be a sad man. I'm gonna start talking. You're gonna hear some bitterness in this voice. It's gonna have a kick to it. Like, dang nabbit.
Yeah, dang nabbit. Those hooligans going there triple tanks.
How the youth these days and their dang triple tanks.
How preposterous of them.
Dang nabbit, Miley. That's from Hannah Montana. That's where I got dang nabbit from.
Ah, nice reference.
Exactly. That's
part of that pop culture reference, huh?
It's exactly. It's that cup of tea, that dang nabbit or the dang flabbit Miley or dang nabbit Jackson, because Jackson was always up to some antics.
Yeah, he's crazy one, that Jackson. We actually have a swap coming in here, Dr. Phil for easy. So looking at it now, maybe they are gonna try something a little more cheesy, maybe a little more off meta. Maybe they want to run the Zarya because it looks like that Easy's more of a Zarya player
what if
a Diva player, so maybe they are gonna go dive. Who knows?
What if this is the goats coming out too? What if Easy going in there is the Zarya they need, or the Diva they need? What if scary stuff we're talking about now here. Yeah, this is like horror stories you tell around the campfire. Like in comp queue, 222 lock had been enforced, but in the private server tournaments it had not been.
And they, on the side of Blue Dream, went goats. Very frightening.
And then that's when you hold the flashlight up to your face and the reflection on the wall is a goat. And that's when everyone shrieks and it's like, and that's the real spoopy part of the story.
I'd be more scared that there's a goat hanging around somewhere that I didn't even notice.
That's the power of goats. That's what it does, man.
Yeah, the goat's it's always hiding behind a tree, just staring at you from a distance. Never quite close enough to actually do anything until it knows it's its time to strike.
Exactly. If you've ever played Goat Simulator, okay? If you ever played the high quality games that I play, like Goat Simulator, then maybe you'd understand.
Maybe, just maybe.
Full disclosure, I've never played Goat Simulator, so I'm a fraud.
Fair enough. It looks like on the defensive side here, we are going to see that double sniper. Baptiste, Mercy, double tank. You got that good old pulled pork duo coming through here.
Ooh, look at what Easy's pulling out.
Easy might go this Sombra. It looks like I switch over to Diva. Winston, yep, they're going dive.
Oh, I was excited because Sombra got some changes recently, so she's been nerfed a little bit. So I was excited to see someone able to pull her out still. But
yeah,
unfortunately, that will not be the case. We have semi-traditional 222 coming out with the dive lineup coming in here from the side of Blue Dream, looking to crack this strong defense that we have coming in. But J-Berm, he lagged.
A little bit of a stumble.
Yep, must have tripped. Probably tripped.
That's who put that rock there?
Exactly, who put that there? And Apollo actually almost fell back to spawn, but manages to get healed back up, recover, and with this double sniper lineup coming in here from the side of Capybara, it really highlights the strengths of this team. It really shows, the hit scan power that they have. But as I say that, agriculture gets dropped, that dang caster curse, because no matter how well you can click heads, when a giant beefy gorilla jumps on you and just holds left click, your accuracy doesn't really mean much.
Yeah, but right now, Boob's actually taking down my bear. Thick, though, getting Dill. That's a pretty big pick there coming into this fight. And that Mercy res is usually pretty big to have. And speaking of the Mercy res, Matty White actually able to get around a boot.
Yeah, there comes in, and you saw the halt was actually used by Bear. Didn't actually pull him far enough away at all, so the res still came out, and we're going to see Blue Dream secure themselves a fight win here and get themselves moving through point A, and maybe actually finish out point A without any recontest coming in from Capybara.
Yeah, they definitely are playing the right comp here to deal with these double snipers. As long as they can just jump on them and close the distance, it's going to be really hard for them to actually get anything done.
And it's interesting that Capybara is actually sticking with this double sniper setup here.
Yeah, especially now that they're on this second point. It's a little bit harder, I feel like, for them to hold that because they're also in close quarters. But I think what they're really going to rely on is the Baptiste immortality in case they do get dove upon to kind of stop that from coming through. But G-Man able to get a pick off on a glitch here to start us off.
Very nicely done, but Matt will negate that pick until G-Man just makes another one, taking out Boop. Apollo playing with fire gets dropped very low there by Thick on the Ash. Manages to get healed back up though, and we still have this defense having themselves a little bit of an advantage. Not for much longer though, as Boop is getting himself back into the fight. And take note, Boop does have that primal rage, so Boop in of himself can actually handle this sniper backline for the side of Capybara just alone with that primal rage. But Easy is actually going to take it into his own hands, taking out Agriculture until DYL comes in with another res, bringing back Agriculture. DYL has been coming in with so many clutch reses consistently in this matchup. And, you know, while Blue Dream might finally be getting themselves through this point B, I gotta give kudos to DYL for playing a good Mercy.
Yeah, and now a lot of people dead on the side of Capybara right now. It's just the supports in the Hanzo trying to keep it as much as they can, but Agriculture's actually getting a huge pocket right now from not only the Mercy but the Baptiste. So it's actually looking a little more winnable now because now you have the tanks coming back. The Zarisa's almost there. Agriculture going down though, a little too late. Down.
Apollo though, wow, look at Apollo going in, taking out Matt, taking out Glitch. There are no more supports left here for the offense, and I think that may have been enough to just stave off this attack, and we finally get to see Blue Dream take a second and breathe, and Capybara get themselves a chance to find some footing in this push. And ooh, a beautiful hook by G-Man, something he's done so consistently. G-Man finds so many hooks, so many picks, and so many openings for his team until a Mercy Res just negates it.
Yeah, but now both Mercy Res is used here, so you're not going to have that going into this fight, especially you probably want it right now instead of that DPS, because now you're missing your main tank, so there's no way you're going to be able to push into here.
Ooh, Apollo taking out one, but then J-Berm coming in taking out Apollo as well. Fortunately though, J-Berm won't be able to get any more work done as G-Man has the perfect counter for that Genji, and with the Dragon Blade now down, this fight looks like it could be going into the favor of the defense as Capybara still looks healthy. They still have their footing on the point, and with Agriculture moving in for this close range Hanzo, he's feeling confident, he's feeling cocky, but unfortunately he's going to be feeling dead for a little bit until yet again DYL comes in with a res. I feel like DYL always has that res up. Is that on the lower cooldown for him or something? Like, we need to check this guy's settings.
Yeah, he's always getting that res off pretty much as soon as someone dies. Like, if he sees someone's dead, he's like, all right, whatever, we'll just res you. Agriculture now getting a 3K.
Look at that, 3K.
Really seeing both of these DPS putting in work. If it isn't Agriculture, it's Apollo on the side of Capybara here, but J-Berm was able actually to stay alive for a long time during that first engagement there. Almost got another blade. A lot of ults pretty much, almost all except for the Valkyrie coming in on the side of Blue Dream. But a similar fashion also on the side of Capybara here. They're not going to have the Infrasight or the Valkyrie. But ults coming into this are going to be somewhat even. So J-Berm might actually be able to get a lot of picks here if they're able to take that into Immortality fast, because they seem to all be playing relatively close.
Ooh, Agriculture, nicely done right there, taking out his DPS counterpart in Thick. With only 5 people left, there's going to be a res coming in, and we see a Dragon Strike coming in from the offense as we are going to see Blue Dream just hit Q and unleash all hell onto the defense. But will this be enough for Capybara to sustain? We see everybody hitting Q, even Genji's joining in the fun. And with J-Berm popping that Dragon Blade, he's going to get 1, he's going to get 2. Can he get a 3rd? I don't think so, because G-Man is using that whole hog, and Agriculture is in the fight still too. And with the DPS lineup as deadly as they are, the fact that they're still left alive means that there's not going to be a fight win for Blue Dream.
Yeah, you really got to focus down these DPS and take them out. At the start of the fight there, actually, Boop used the Primal and had Agriculture in a corner, but decided to back off them. I guess someone else was called out as low, so they were like, okay, well, we can just come back to the Hanzo, but leaving him alive actually kind of made it hard for them to keep pushing because now you have a bunch of damage coming in from behind you.
And so now we have 20 seconds left. One final fight for this offense. Is Blue Dream going to find themselves a victory here? We will have to see, as we are going to get down to only 13 seconds left. They have to get to the point, and they do just that. We will have overtime triggered. Bob thrown in on the high ground. That is a very nicely placed Bob as he gets work done, and with Thick coming in to help out, Bear's going to get eliminated. Unfortunately, though, DYL is back again with another Mercy Res. So well done by this man, always having that Mercy Res up to support his team. And now we see the tanks just going back and forth on the battlefield. On the cart, it's going to be do or die as overtime comes in, and Thick gets a kill onto Apollo with G-Man coming in with a kill on his own. J-Berm takes out Vexra, and this is just a back and forth fight. This is as this is as on the nail's edge as you can get between these two teams. And with G-Man loading up that whole hog, he finally takes out 2 members. Thick is going to drop 1, but it looks like this fight is going to finally go into the favor of the defense as the respawns are going to come in. DYL again with that Mercy Res. He pays for it with his life, but we see a Dragon Blade used. Can J-Berm hold this out long enough for his team? He gets in there with Easy, dropping that pile driver, and J-Berm takes out Apollo, and now the fight may be swinging back into the favor of Blue Dream. They only have to hold this out for a little bit longer as their respawns do come in, but Agriculture is back on the Tracer. He's going to try his best to just eliminate these last few targets, but these last few targets are turning into a whole bunch of targets. It's turning into the whole Blue Dream lineup. They're all back to the point, and now they're ready to play defense as they're the ones with control. And G-Man is barely able to get back, but he's not going to find any kills as the hook does not land either. And J-Berm takes out DYL. Thick has another bomb, and my god, somehow Blue Dream wins out this fight, and we are still going here on Junkertown.
Absolutely insane. Coming down to it there. Easy getting back super fast on that Hammond would actually relieve some pressure off of J-Berm, so that way he can just go around putting in a little bit of damage here and there. And then guess what? Matt Wyatt's back in there. He's using his damage over onto the Genji and the healing, keeping him up, the Hammond, and just making enough time for everyone to get back. Nothing's dying, nothing's dying, nothing's dying. And then finally, Bear actually goes down, and then it just starts going more and more into their favor.
That was such a ridiculous fight. I can't believe we aren't done with this yet. And it looks like they're kind of mad on the Capybara side as they're just wiping the floor with Blue Dream, using their ultimates, dropping their opponents. And Easy, a nice little mechanic right there, using that pile driver to get himself a little higher and secure his safety. But a hook comes in from G-Man. No kill will be found from it. And we may have a little reprieve until Easy decides to start the fight again. We're going to see Easy drop the Minesweeper, and another blade comes in from J-Berm. I swear, this man has always had his blade up. It is a ridiculously low cooldown. He takes out Agriculture. That is #1 VIP target for the opponents, and now with him down, this could be the fight that Blue Dream needs to move themselves further along this point on Junkertown. They're on the 3rd point. They need to get around the entirety of it, and with only 15 seconds left, they have to do it throughout the entirety of overtime. J-Berm and Thick taking out multiple members, and while DYL comes in with the res, I think this is just going to be a regroup and reconsider your options moment for Capybara.
Yeah, Thick putting in a lot of damage right now with that TNT. People are on fire, so you got to think, okay, do I want to back off and get healed, or do we keep going in? And most of the time, they're like, okay, we're just gonna stay here. We're just gonna keep going and just hope that everyone can get healed, nice and steady. Just keep her going. Walk forward, walk forward, walk forward. But unfortunately, they're gonna be dying. Now going into this next point here, could be pretty hard. The Bob coming through.
We see Bob is thrown up. He's trying to do something, anything. Bob, please show me what you got. He has the ability to eliminate Bear, and now with a 5v6 in the favor of the offense, we might see them finish out Junkertown, but G-Man takes out Easy, and now it's a 5v5 with G-Man getting another kill. And while we see that the kill feed is even, the respawns are going to come in the favor of the defense. So G-Man, Bob, they just have to hold out a little bit longer, and the mines are going to be dropped from Easy's Minesweeper. Is he going to be able to hold this out for his team, though? It's looking like the defense is going to be able to do what they came here to do. Hold out strong and secure themselves a strong defense. But it's looking damn hard with Blue Dream right now.
Yeah, right now, he's just running around the point. Apollo's actually able 2 picks here. And now Agriculture also getting the pick thick as well. Everything's just going right for them.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to finally see Capybara get the defense that they've been working so hard to finish out. The respawns are just too dominant when you're this close to the final part of the 3rd point. And with G-Man finishing off that last hit onto Easy, we will finish the first half of Junkertown.
Yeah, able to take the first round almost all the way from Blue Dream. It was looking kind of sketchy there come that second point, but they really started to get the acceleration. They really started to start going once they were able to actually cap the point and making it very, very close to the end. So by no means is it going to be a walk in the park for Capybara, but you got to think like, okay, well, we need to stop them from getting all the way to the end. Otherwise, it's game over for the side of Blue Dream.
Exactly. Blue Dream, they really have their backs up against the wall right now. And, kudos to them for getting much farther than it looked like they were going to be able to. Because if you asked me 10 minutes ago what I thought Blue Dream would get to, it would be where they almost lost, the end of second point. But that last fight right there at the end of the second point, when they managed to hold out the stalled for just long enough to get themselves onto third point, that may be the biggest part of this entire map, because that may be what gives them that slight edge in securing a W if their defense is going to be very strong.
Yeah, right now they're kind of a little bit everywhere on their defense. They got a Genji, I assume, to deal with the snipers in case they come through. They also have the Roadhog Orisa in case there's a little bit of a dive that comes onto them. So they're a little bit of everywhere right now. So maybe get the best of both things. But on the offense here, that's a little bit scary right there. You see the Bastion, you see a Hanzo. You know, I don't think they're going to stay on this quite because it's not really their roles, but they might elect to do just that.
We'll have to see if they choose to go with this wonky little comp, and it looks like they may be going with it. We thought the cheese would be coming out from Blue Dream, but the cheese is coming straight from the dominant side. We're seeing Capybara whip out multiple tanks here. They actually have 4 tanks, 1 support, and a Bastion. And I hate to say it, but right now they're rolling Blue Dream.
Yeah, no, this is definitely not how you want to start off your first push here. And they're pretty much going to have that Baptiste ultimate every fight because Baptiste is really good at healing people that are all grouped up together. And playing the comp that they are right now with the 4 tanks, they're always really grouped together.
And they have such a large health pool that he can heal. It's going to be ridiculous amounts of ult charge. But when you drop a purple nade like that, that may be exactly what you need to find an opening. Unfortunately, though, no opening is found by Blue Dream as Thick gets eliminated by Bear on the backside.
Yeah, right now the window being used. Able to take out 4 people now dead. 5 people dead on the side of Blue Dream.
That wasn't fair. They were just corralled up into that tiny room as the cart was moving past it. It looked like, it's a small world from Disney World, just slowly going by the exhibit, except it's a small world, had a gun attached to it.
Yeah, now easy switch over to the Sombra. I imagine they're just going to try to want to build up that EMP as fast as they can. It's going to be really hard, especially, even though they're going to have the EMP, they still have to be super careful in case that Immortality is able to come down still, because it's going to keep them up for a lot longer. Right now with the Bastion hacked, though, is probably their best chance.
We see, actually, as the Bastion is hacked, Bear decides this is my chance to go in. Agriculture does not find himself a hook, cannot get himself the kind of kills that he needs, trying to replicate G-Man's magic. Unfortunately, does not have it. It's nice to see DYL, the Mercy player, getting a chance to do a little something different, playing that Diva, as seems like almost a completely uncontested point. Finally, ultimates are being used, as almost every single ultimate from Blue Dream is just thrown into the fight for the hell of it. And while they do win the fight, they only have beat left.
Yeah, they definitely overcommitted there. If you're on the side of Capybara, you're thinking to yourself, thank God that happened, because right now they have almost every single ultimate on their tanks and on their support, so it's gonna be really hard. And J-Berm getting taken out immediately, a little too out of position there, pushed up pretty far. They're gonna have to back off. There's really nothing they can do now.
We see Berm jumping in there, getting them. Excuse me, Berm actually got dropped. We see Bear jumping in there with a Primal Rage. Apollo gets the kill on the Matty White, and now with this Orisa Bongo thrown down, we're gonna see these tanks doing a hell of a lot more damage. Amplifying a tank's damage going to do a lot more than you'd expect it to, turning Bear into as much of a deadly threat as G-Man's Bastion. And just like that, we will see the entirety of Capybara move themselves on the point 3 with this quad tank solo support, solo DPS lineup. One of the last times you may ever see this in tournament play.
Yeah, and you would see it every now and then because it is really good to run, because that Baptiste can just put in so much heals and just continue on with that. But now they're finally on this last point, but they have a little less than 5 minutes to push this thing. Not even all the way there, a little bit behind it. So it's going to be really, really hard for Blue Dream to kind of keep this defense up here. The EMP, though, coming through gets everybody.
Yeah, the best defense is a strong offense, and sometimes that's all you need when you throw the EMP in there, and the purple is timed so well. Thick and Boop getting themselves some kills, and while the immortality field does come down, it comes down a little bit too late. DYL trying to do his best to get in there, get some kills, get out. Unfortunately, misses out on one of those steps, and barely manages to fulfill himself on the last one, getting out by the skin of his teeth. And we see a little bit of life in this Blue Dream defense coming out. That's a good job by them, but they only have one, maybe two ultimates coming up for this next fight.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard to kind of stay their ground because they don't have a defensive ultimate. So as soon as they start coming in, they have to back up immediately. But right now, initiate the tire pretty fast. Just only going to be able to take out the immortality, though, because of that.
Yeah, but Glitch actually gets a kill sometimes, and Ana needs to frag out too. I respect the hustle, brother. And you got Boob and Thick getting in there for the fun too. This is just a strong showing from Blue Dream right now. They seem to have found their footing on this defense. And we talked about there was 5 minutes left on the clock for Capybara to get themselves through. But now they're down to only 3.5, and that clock is ticking so fast.
Yeah, and right now Easy's actually almost at another EMP, which is kind of what helped him win that one fight to kind of stop the momentum from coming through. And Glitch actually hit a really good anti-nade back then when the EMP did come through. Thick able to take out Dildo. It's going to stall him for a little bit longer.
Yeah, and you see the lackadaisical attitude coming in from Capybara might be biting them in the behind because they do have this quad tank setup and they're sticking with it. You gotta wonder how much longer they're gonna be sticking with these 4 tanks as the EMP is thrown in, but the Diva Bomb is gonna be dropped onto the entirety of the team. Are they gonna survive? Boop manages to survive it just barely until Apollo finishes up that kill, and now we're going to see the rest of this fight snowball out as Glitch takes out Apollo, and with neither team having a main tank left, we'll just have to look at what Capybara has to do with the rest of their tanks, because my god, they have 3 more, and Bear is making his presence known to all of his opponents.
Yeah, I think that they're going to be able to win this next fight on the side of Blue Dream as long as they play it right here. They have a couple ultimates to do so, but like before, they got to make sure they don't over-engage with these ultimates. They're going to have Bongo, Tire, Bob, and pretty close to Sound Barrier. As long as they don't use all of them, then it should be all right.
Ooh, J-Berm gets a cheeky little ultimate kill right there on the G-Man, but sometimes that's all you need, taking out the VIP target from this tank lineup. And with an amplification matrix thrown down as well as the Bongo, you want to see if these tanks can actually do anything, but both of those amplifying ultimates are disappeared now. They're gone. They're dead. And with the purple thrown down on these tanks, they have no healing coming in. That's going to be another one fight for Blue Dream, and we are at 1:50 left. We started this third point with 5 minutes, my friend, and here we are with 1:45, and Blue Dream is still holding out.
Yeah, the defense, they keep giving up that little bit of space that they need to regroup and make sure that they can have that solid defense here. But now that it's a little bit closer, they don't have much room to back up. But they do have the ultimates to be able to hold this. Again, they're about to have a lot of ults, so they did it really good last fight. They got to make sure to not over-engage with these. They don't have any ults on the side right now of Capybara, so what they're going to be doing is trying to draw out as many of their ults as they can.
But their job may have just gotten a little bit easier because Agriculture just takes out J-Berm, and with a 5v6 left, the defense does have the spawns in their favor, but you know, sometimes that disadvantage can hurt you a whole lot. We see the EMP is thrown down after the beat, and Bob is used as well, and Thick and Easy say, what disadvantage? We're the ones with the advantage. We have the momentum, we have the skill, and we are going to flaunt it. And just like that, this defense holds strong. And when we started at 5 minutes on third point, we are down to only 45 seconds left. This might be one of the best defenses I've seen on this map.
Yeah, right now they're doing a great job at holding it. They're coming up on Tire, Nano, and Bongo. They use them right here. It could be very good, but getting picked off right there at the end, 30 seconds left. Thick, definitely not one you want to see. They don't have any else on the side of Capybara, but they can still manage to go through here. They have the player skill to do so.
They have the skill, but do they have the momentum? Do they have the ability? Do they have the mental fortitude? DYL and Agriculture lining up the kill feed because now they're going try hard. They do not want to up. We have Agriculture on the Hanzo, DYL back on the support, and with G-Man on his hog, we're going to see exactly what can be brought to the table by Capybara. Bob may be staying on the point, but he will only be there for a certain amount of time until Thick comes back, gets a kill, make that 3 kills actually. That's 3 for 1, baby. That's a dollar menu combo right there if you ask me. And with Bear, the only one left, I can't believe it. Blue Dream manages to hold out their defense on Junkertown and get themselves a map score.
Just when it was looking super grim on the side of Blue Dream, that Capybara just stayed on that comp too long, and they're just able to get those ultimates, really get it rocking for them, going back and forth, teeter-tottering with them, and now they've made it so that way they haven't kept a point rather, and they've taken the map.
Capybara got way too cocky right there. You could tell they were feeling themselves a little too much, and they paid the price for it. Look at that. They lost this map because they wanted to go at that cheesy 4-tank strat.
Yeah, and then as soon as they did change, they had no ultimates. Now, it's
Ooh.
always possible to win the map without any ultimates on your side, just purely with player skill, but sometimes the ultimates are a little too overwhelming.
Yeah, sometimes skill can only do so much. You know, if you can have the best aim in the world as a Zenyatta, but if you have a Genji flying at you with a Dragon Blade, there's only so much you can do in that 1 second window you have.
Yeah, crazy match there to kind of stop Junkertown. That great defense, absolutely great defense. They seemed a little bit shaky at first, but once they got those ultimates to kind of go back and forth with them, the EMP, Dragon, they would invest like 3 ults one fight, then the other 3 ults the next fight, and then they'd have those 3 ults again that they had at the one fight. And it's just that back and forth that makes it so hard to keep going through there. And now going to Numbani, Blue Dream have to have a smile on the face. They feel confident. They know that they can get a win. But Capybara also with the 2-1 right now knows that they only need one more map to close it out. So Numbani is really going to be a big try-hard map, I feel.
It is. It's definitely going to be interesting. And something that, you know, you have to wonder if it's on the mind of Blue Dream. You know, they won a map. They did, but I mean, we all know they won it against a Capybara that was kind of trolling. So is Blue Dream going to be able to pull out the same performance against a team that isn't trolling, you know, against a Capybara that has agriculture and Apollo on those hit scan, on those snipers? Are we going to see G-Man's Hog just carrying the fight? And are we going to see Blue Dream able to respond to that in this next fight? I mean, this next map? Because, you know, it's really the question in the air. They did it against the half-assed lineup, but can they do it against the whole-ass lineup?
Yeah, I wouldn't really call it trolling what they were doing on the side of Capybara. It was definitely cheese, but by no means was it a troll. Cheese is kind of just like you want to run something that isn't super traditional, but has like one really good factor. And their one really good factor is keeping that point and having large health pools with that 4-1-1. But now, you know, they were able to beat it. And so as soon as they lost their momentum, they lost their momentum. They should have switched off immediately and gone to something completely different. So that way they had plenty of time to build up ults and actually go in and have that one really good fight for them. But they just didn't make the switch fast enough. So going into
Blue Dream just like sucked the life out of them on that third point. And you really like felt the momentum just swing into Blue Dream's favor when you saw Boop and Easy, you know, just making these plays. J-Berm getting these kills on Junkrat. Thick coming in here and doing thick boy things, you know? It's really just, you felt Blue Dream just take control of that map.
Yeah, Blue Dream did do really well there as soon as they got on that third point. Now going into Numbani, this map is pretty good for a defense bunker, but it's also pretty good for an offensive dive, or really you can do anything on offense here. Even if you want to run the bunker on offense, a lot of times you'll see players go underneath straight to the point, so that way it forces someone to drop on the defensive side. So it'll be interesting to see here. Actually, we have a color change now. Blue Dream is in the blue finally. It makes a little bit more sense now. And in the red is Capybara.
So something else that I really like about Numbani, how applicable the press Q to win Sombra Genji comp can be. And I want to see if we'll see something like that come out from Blue Dream, considering we've seen Easy comfortable on that Sombra. Because, you know, if you do have trouble with a bunker, you can just whip out that Sombra Genji, both of them get their ultimates and hit Q, and then that bunker is just kind of, you know, sitting ducks for a Genji with a Dragon Blade.
Yeah, EMP is definitely one of the strongest ultimates, if not the strongest ultimate in the game, depending on who you ask, I guess. And on the defense here, they're going to be running a pretty meta comp right now with the Diva, Orisa, Torb is a little bit not as meta, but still a good pick all around, in my opinion. Thick over on that Ashe, Baptiste, Mercy, definitely a good combo you want to see from your support lineup.
Yeah, they definitely have a lot of healing. They have the res. They have all that good stuff. It's going to be interesting to see how they do with this defense. They're bringing out some, you know, good old Clockwork Vendetta looking plays. You know, RIP Clockwork Vendetta, Gamba not forgotten. But We'll have to see if Thick is going to assert dominance. You know, I feel like a lot of this matchup has been Thick versus Agriculture, and then Apollo kind of showed up to the fight. But you know, I really feel like Thick has been showing up real big, and J-Berm has, you know, had a few moments here and there, but it's really been Thick having his way when he's been popping off.
Yeah, and a big dynamite in there, getting a lot of damage. Thick already at
So
about
much ultimate
almost 70% now.
Wow, that's ridiculous. That's just how efficient that dynamite can getting Ash's ultimate up. Unfortunately for them, though, Agriculture does take out their main tank, and with Boop gone, it's going to be really hard to continue this defense, but he is brought back to life, albeit at the cost of Glitch. Get a life, give a life, and while Thick is taken down as well, it's going to finally be, I think, Capybara taking this point A, and on what seems to be their first push, coming out determined, ready to reestablish themselves as the dominant team in this matchup.
Yeah, Agriculture there was able to put in a lot of pressure because Thick was focused down on the low ground where everyone else was really coming in from. Then the Far Mercy was able to kind of just walk on in and start shooting down at the barrier and actually take out Bear and I believe someone else. So it made it a little bit difficult for them to kind of hold their defense there when you have two different crossfires coming at you.
Yeah, when those crossfires are executed properly, it's so difficult to deal with them because you just don't know where to focus your attention. You turn one way, you get shot the other way, you know? And when you have such capable long-range threats like you do in this matchup, it's kind of hard to not, you know... Excuse me, I got a little distracted right there by Apollo's Dragon Strike taking out Thick. Wow, look at that go off. He is doing a fantastic job showing us why he should stay on his DPS heroes and not flex over those tanks. Doing a fantastic job on this Hanzo. Agriculture himself getting his ultimate ready to go, see what that barrage can do. But we have the defense from Blue Dream. They have 4 ultimates available. They have the lava, they have the amplification matrix, and they still have their lives after that far barrage. That is so important. Agriculture did not get a single kill, but G-Man is going to make up for that aplenty, getting himself a 3K, taking out almost the entirety of this lineup by himself.
Yeah, G-Man's been super dangerous when it comes to these whole hogs. Not only will he just kind of walk around your back line when no one's looking, hook somebody, shoot him really quick, but then he pulls out that whole hog when you're running back to try to get him. It's just like, he just wants you to back off, and he's putting out so much damage that it's just kind of like, what do you do in that scenario?
Sometimes it can really just be a little too much to handle in the situation. Sometimes when you're overwhelmed with all the decisions like you do in Overwatch, it really makes you think. It really makes you question why you chose to play this game when it just really gets so difficult sometimes. But we love it, and we're here to enjoy it, just like Apollo is as he hits the head of Easy, taking him out. We have the window showing light. We have the window amplifying their damages. And while the bongo comes out from Boop, it is answered back in full by Bear. But J-Berm is actually the one making the most of it right now, taking out 2 members. DYO eliminating that kill, bringing back Apollo into the fight. And now we're getting so close to the end of this push right here, but we get a big EMP by Easy right there. DYL will fall, no flying available, your wings are broken, and we will get to finally see Blue Dream set their feet, stand their ground, and get defense here until Boop is pulled in. Oh, caster curse, my bad, dude.
Yeah, now it's going to be a little bit harder. Bear's actually asleep, though. Oh, no, but Glitch gets pulled in. J-Berm able to pick out G-Man right before it happens.
It was a bait the whole time. G-Man got baited the whole time. And now the defense with Bob on the point is going to finally come to a standstill and give us a breather between these two teams. Finally.
But they still have 4 minutes, but we saw Blue Dream was actually able to hold them off for 5. So 4, a little bit less of a daunting task, but still going to be a hard one to accomplish here. Oh no, they got to be careful. The Matrix of Booth gets picked off right now. That's big on the side of Capybara. That's what you exactly want to see.
Exactly, but I'm starting to think lightning won't strike twice here as the defense from Blue Dream is looking a little more difficult this time around. Agriculture flexing onto the Doomfist, something we haven't seen yet, taking out 3 members during this fight right now. That is a fantastic Doomfist, a 4th just for good measure. Can he add the Boop ball to his death list? I don't know. Check his death notebook for a second and let me know, because Agriculture barely avoids death himself. Gets that immortality field. He is protected. He takes out his counterpart Thick. He takes out Boop. This is just Agriculture's world, and we are living in it right now. My God, this man is everywhere and nowhere at the same time. How can you keep track of him?
Yeah, but right now, he's got his ultimate. He's going to elect to use it here. Everyone's really spread out right now with the Hanzo Dragon and the Doomfist all coming through. You got to pick one or the other. Stuck between a rock and a hard place.
And honestly, that was just domination right there at the end. Agriculture bringing out a pick we have yet to see this series on that Doomfist. And my God, did that look pretty.
Yeah, that was really good. He was just able to knock everybody into that wall with that right click. And he was doing actually really good using some of his abilities to close the gap rather than to use them in a super offensive way to try to get the damage through. So maybe he decides to use his uppercut and then a seismic slam to just get over to another side and then set up for a right click onto somebody and just kind of do everything he can with his abilities rather than just putting out the damage, but instead putting out good positioning as well. So it was very good by him. Now going in on the defense here, though, I'm a little excited to see what we might see from the side of Capybara.
Yeah.
Because I think they might run something similar to what they did on Junkertown. Actually,
Ooh.
not quite.
We're going to see Agriculture stick with that Doomfist. He was definitely feeling it. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know, that Doomfist was, I have to say, single-handedly carrying them in that last fight. If you look at the kill feed for that last 2 minutes, it was just entirely Agriculture's Doomfist. And I think it's something that's going to be carrying them through this next defense as well, if he can just have the same kind of, pop-off that he did last time.
Yeah, but one thing they got to be worried about is if Blue Dream decide to take a Pharah to this battle, because that could be really big going into it, because they don't have much to deal with it. It's going to be the supports that are kind of on that main Pharah work.
Maybe the supports want it. Have a little fun. Let them frag a bit.
Yeah. Going in now, we got 2 tanks. We got that Orisa, Diva, we got a Reaper, and then 3 supports. So a little bit interesting what they're going to go with here. Not that classic 2-2-2 that we're now seeing because of the enforced role. But Agriculture is going to have a hard time in the middle of all of them.
Yeah, that was a risky engagement, to say the least. And we should note that Brig is a little different now, too. With the way her healing works, her pack isn't instant. It over time heals, so that's definitely a different way to play her. She gets less healing on herself from her Inspire passive and whatnot, so definitely have to be a little more cautious. You won't have that instantaneous health as you might be used to playing Brig, but it's not looking like that's going to matter too much right now, as Capybara is really just getting rolled over, and this three support lineup isn't really doing too much.
Yeah, it did really good at the start taking out Agriculture, but as soon as they got around, they couldn't quite take out that Immortality fast enough. Everybody stayed up. They positioned themselves, moved over towards point, and then everybody on the side of Blue Dream kind of seemed to went off and do their own thing. Jabram was on the low ground trying to take out the turret. Meanwhile, the Tor was shooting them in the back, so they had to try to focus on both of them, get away really quick, so they were low. So then the supports had to be focused on the Jabram, making it really kind of difficult. But going in now, we're going to have the Window and the Molten Core coming in for ultimates on the side of Capybara, and only really the Coalescence, almost a rally on the side of Blue Dream.
Yeah, that Molten Core and that rally, that Molten Core is going to be really big, as a rally won't be coming into play at all here, actually. He gets dropped pretty quickly, but we do have the Coalescence coming out. Matt White is doing a great job of doing the damage that his team needs himself. Sometimes supports need to step into that role and be the damage their team needs. But DYL is going to do the exact same thing along with G-Man. Apollo joining in the fun too. And again, these fights at the front end seem to be going in the favor of Blue Dream. But as they progress, it feels like they just, they can't handle the fight after that initial pick. They can't handle dealing with a lead in the fight.
Yeah, and if they're not able to actually get this next engagement to go in their favor and take the point, they got to sit back and think, okay, what do we switch up here? Are they going to elect to actually go that far if they don't win this next one? Or are they just going to say, whatever, we like what this is, we think it can do good, we just need to be able to put in the right engagement tools here? But right now they're going up to the high ground, of course, expecting them. Capybara is a little bit farther back.
Yeah, but we have to see Thick is actually alone as the Nano Boost goes down onto Agriculture's Doomfist, who actually will not pick up the first kill, but he does pick up 2. A huge ultimate is thrown down, and Thick, he picks up 2, but it's only going to be eliminations onto ultimate, as we see Vexera and DYL are dropped after the fact. Thick is actually popping off. This man is doing everything in his power to carry his team, but he cannot do enough as Agriculture, G-Man, and Apollo are left standing on the point, and we only have 50 seconds left. This could be do or die for the side of Blue Dream.
Yeah, and Thick's doing really good right now, but he's only doing good when the rest of his team is dead. So he's really got to, instead of waiting until the end to kind of pop off, he's got to try to pop off at the start, or at least while some of his teammates are still alive. Like,
Yeah,
he's doing really good, but it's not going to matter if it's a 1v6 and you turn into a 1v3. You're still going to lose the fight in the end.
30 seconds remaining.
so now with only 25 seconds left, this might be it. This might be sayonara to the side of Blue Dream. If they are going to lose this matchup, they have to get through here. They have to get 2 more ticks, and Agriculture is going to initiate the fight, but he's just playing with his food for the time being. He gets out pretty quickly, and Thick, who is also going to be on the Doomfist, gets taken out by Apollo's turret, and with the window being dropped right now, they can see clearly now because the rain is gone and the amplification matrix is booming. G-Man hooks in Matt, Vexra lights up the kill feed, and now, just like that, we will see Blue Dream fall to the side of Capybara, 3 maps to 1.
Yeah, and normally you'll usually see a blowout of like a 3-0 or something of that matter, but you got a 3-1 today. It was pretty good. Both sides definitely putting in work, but Capybara at the end of the day was just able to put in way more work and actually able to take these map wins.
Yeah, Capybara played so well as a team when they were trying to play their strengths. When we get to see Agriculture on any DPS hero, it seems like he's just popping off and seems so confident with it. Whether it's the Hanzo, whether it's the Ashe, whether it's the Doomfist, you know, he just, whatever you put in his hands, this man's gonna pop off with. So a big kudos to Agriculture there.
Yeah, and now going into it, I mean, the whole fight, I feel like it was just such good coordination from the tank lineup. I feel like Bear and G-Man just make a really good duo there. They're able to get that good halt hook combo. They just kind of seem to be really in control with everything, and it seemed really well on their side, honestly. I was very impressed by how well everyone was playing on the side of Capybara there.
And for anyone watching on Twitch, if you were impressed with anyone's play, make sure you vote in that MVP vote that we like to do in Twitch itself. Make sure you get out there, make sure you show support to whichever player impressed you the most in this series, so that way we can find out who your MVP is and give them a little bit of loving for playing so dang well out there.
Yeah, and now that the match is over, we actually are lucky enough to have a post-match interview with the main tank from Capybara, Bear. Bear, hi, how are you doing, man?
Hey, how's it going, man? Doing pretty
going
good. Feeling good. Feeling good.
Nice. Those are
I'd
very,
hope so after
very
that
good win.
performance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty convincing. Third map, we were a little bit worried, you know, but we just picked it back up. We don't get tilted on our team. We just keep.
Yeah, you guys did really good. Going into those matches, you and G-Man actually seemed like a really good combo there. Is there a lot of synergy between you two, it seemed like, with the halt hook?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, at first it was kind of a mess, you know, but we kind of figured out a strategy for the best way to get value out of it, and you know, we've been scrimming a lot with it, and we only play bunker and scrims really, and you know, we've been hitting them lately, and that's how you win games right now. That's the meta.
Yeah, it's definitely the meta right now, and you guys are definitely showing that that's the meta. You being the main tank, are you kind of the call out, the in-game leader of your team, or is it someone else?
I mean, we all kind of pitch ideas for strats, and we pitch like, you know, healers normally pick healers. We get like, you know, comps that Zeplis, our coach, gives us and stuff. But yeah, like in general, you know, maybe I'll call the lane we go down, and then in fights, you know, I'm calling targets and stuff, and that's what we've been really working on lately: target calling and you know, target focus. And I think today was like, you know, that was all that coming together because, you know, we'd call a name out, I call a name out, somebody else would call a name out, and that person would just, you know, instantly be gone. So we're really happy that that worked out.
Yeah, you guys did an amazing job, not only pushing up, but also holding your own ground when it came down to it. You guys did great on Lijiang. You did great on pretty much every single map. Junkertown was the only one you dropped, but even then you guys kind of ran a different comp. You ran a 4 tank, 1 DPS, 1 support, which was doing really well up until that third point there. So what was the idea behind that? Did you guys kind of decide to do that right off the bat, or going into Junkertown, is that just kind of something you guys always like to run?
I think last time we were So last time we were casted, and then the week after, whenever we had escort maps, we would just do that, 4 tank strat, and it worked out. And the problem with that strat is once it's broken, it's like near impossible to get set back up. And so, once we got it broken, we actually went back and we got another good push, and we were like, okay, cool, we can just win with this now because we had ults, we had the cart and stuff, and then we lost again, and so we stayed on it for like 3 minutes maybe, and that just wasn't the move. So even after we lost, we knew immediately that was the problem. Our coach immediately told us that was the problem, that we stayed on it too long. And I mean, that's just and we kept doing the same thing. We kept going through the same lane. We weren't looking for high ground or anything like that. So that was just dumb on our part. That's the reason we lost that map. Just weren't thinking it through.
Yeah, it happens. You want to run something a little bit different, and sometimes it feels like it's doing a little bit better than it actually is, and then in the end it's just kind of like, oh well, in hindsight maybe we shouldn't have done that. Hindsight's 2020. You can't change the past, but you can change the future, which you did on Numbani. You guys just absolutely started rolling on Numbani, did a really good job, able to have it all the way to the 3rd point at the end, and then able to have a really good hold as well.
Agriculture's Doomfist, I just gotta say, that man's Doomfist was
agriculture's everything is insane. I mean, like, that dude pops off every single game, every single scrim. He's just constantly getting 3K, 4K. It's the best thing as a main tank is when you can just tank. You play comp games and you have to carry and you have to look for all these picks and all that stuff. But when I come out here and I have agriculture and then Apollo too, when we have them out there, I just need to tank and I just need to stay on cart and I just need to look for halts and stuff, and those guys are just out doing their thing. And I mean, it just, the synergy is really coming together here.
Yeah, but hey, don't sell yourself short, man. You were still doing some amazing work. Like, you were playing Orisa great. Like, there wasn't much mistakes in anybody on your team's gameplay really until it kind of came down to those very close fights where it could have been a coin flip to either other.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, and being Orisa too. I mean, I have a great off tank in G-Man. You throw up a halt and he'll grab it. You know what I mean? So it's just. I mean, I might have played well, but the whole reason is, I mean, on the last map, I looked at I tabbed at the very end of the first round on Numbani, and I saw that I was like 17-0, and that's not because I was like popping off. That's because we got healers, we got everybody, peeling for me, peeling for each other, and I think we all might have done really well, but the whole reason that we were able to pop off like that is because we're all there, supporting each other.
Yeah, you guys did a great job. That's pretty much all the questions I have for you. Beanies, you got any questions for Bear while he's here?
I guess, like, honestly, from a tank player to another, like, do you really enjoy playing Orisa all the time?
I mean, to be honest, when I love Reinhardt. That's my favorite tank. I love blocking shatters. That's all I really do in scrims.
See, that's a rewarding feeling right there.
Yeah. But when you look at Orisa, there's actually like a lot of it's not just like meta play. There is a lot of individual skill involved, and that's just kind of what I focus on. I focus on the halts. I focus on shield jumping. I focus on tracking because I mean, tracking's a little bit weird with Orisa because you have to lead a track, it's just weird. But I think we're really getting the hang of it. So I mean, if we're winning with her, I like her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. It's just, it's interesting, especially we were talking about on broadcast actually, how you guys were choosing mostly to play the 2-2-2 setup for most of the matches. I think at the end, Blue Dream pulled out that 3 support looking lineup. But were you guys just like excited to be behind the whole like 3-3 meta? Were there any of you like asking like maybe just this last time, let's just do it for old time's sake?
No, I mean, I think we're all pretty much done with Ghosts. I mean, I enjoyed Ghosts, it was fun, but we're looking to win games, and if we do go off 2-2-2, it's going to be maybe for 3 DPS or for 4 tanks or something crazy like that. I don't think we're ever going to do 3-3 again. I think that's kind of,
well, put it to rest, respect the time you had with it, but don't go back. I like it.
Yeah. All right, well, yeah, Bear, thanks for coming in, man. Great interview.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for casting. You guys have a great day.
You have a good night, man. Enjoy the win, dude.
Thanks, man.
And with that being said, we also today have our viewer MVP. You know him, you love him. The main support, Dill, able to get so many reses off
Ooh,
on Jungle Town.
Dill.
It was actually insane. Dill was just out there putting in the Lord's work, man. Like, he is just out there. He's putting in a lot of heals. He's just able to get around, fly, make sure that everyone's healed up that needs to be healed up, damage boosting the right targets, still doing a really amazing job on Mercy. You know, Mercy is regarded as someone with kind of a lower skill ceiling, but I think Dill today was playing at that top of the ceiling and maybe even a little bit higher.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, survivability is so key, and he was staying alive through so many fights, and it's really risky going for reses nowadays. How easily you can be countered, how long it takes for the res to hit. So the fact that Dill was able to get so many reses off and survive them continue pumping out that healing and damage support for the whole fight is a real testament to his ability as a main support and how much you can affect the game, even on a hero like Mercy, like you said, that people will discount more often than not.
Definitely. And now, wrapping up the stream, appreciate everybody for coming in today. We hit 1,000 followers.
Woo!
Again, big shout out to the subscribers. Big shout out to everybody who wanted to help us out here. Just remember, before you leave, to always follow, subscribe if you want to. You know, just go ahead, do all what you can to kind of help support this organization and help us grow, so that way we can have even more good players come in and we can watch more good Overwatch. I've been your caster, Poor Zach. You can find me on twitch.tv/PoorZach. Same with Instagram, YouTube. My Twitter handle is like Poor Zach, but instead of the O's, it's zeros, and the A, it's a 4, because don't blame me, all right? Someone already took it.
If you use numbers, it just makes you cooler. Like, that's
numbers make
that's
you cooler,
fairness,
man.
bro. Come
That's
on.
that's just how it works.
That's
But,
how cool you are, dude.
That's just, man. You know, thank you. That's why you're here for me, Beanies.
I should just call you the other side of the pillow, because that's how cool you are. And so
Nice.
with that,
I like that.
I've been your caster, Beanies. You can find me on every social at Beanies, on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, you name it, I'm there. Find me at Beanies, hit me with a follow, talk to me about Overwatch or whatever game's been bugging you recently, and I'll see you guys some other time in the future, hopefully on the social.
Have a good one.